Hey guys, Stephen here. I kind of wanted to share something with you guys. So as we go into the next year, what we're going to do something interesting. When we start Wednesday nights in the new year, we're going to go over everybody's favorite Bible verses. That's something I've wanted to do ever since I talked to you guys about it. But we're also going to tie in either a question or a challenge that you can give to somebody who gives you something difficult to think about when they're questioning you about God. And the reason I wanted to do that is because we don't necessarily always do a good job of preparing people for when they come with difficult questions. Like, here's a difficult question. How can you believe that God is good when most of the wars that have been fought over religion? It's a tough question there. I mean, like, if most wars are fought because of somebody's belief in God, that would lead you to think that maybe religion isn't the best thing. Or maybe there's only one good religion, but how do you know that your religion is the good one? It might lead you to think maybe it's best to not believe in God then. That's what ends up happening with a lot of people who get challenged with questions like these. But there's two problems. First, and the most important one for your belief, if that is true, it still doesn't change the question of whether or not God exists. It can't. Because it's a fact about people. People believe or don't believe in God. Everybody has their beliefs about the world. Let's say we've got a world where everybody has blonde hair, okay? You could say that in that world, every single war has been fought by someone with blonde hair. You could just say, well, that's because blonde-haired people are evil and anyone with blonde hair is a terrible person. Or you could just say, yeah, people go to war. And all the people in this world have blonde hair. That doesn't really tell you anything. It's a lot of the same when it comes to religion. People go to war. They go to war over money or resources or getting land and power, or they go to war because of grudge matches. We see a lot of wars with a lot of kings fought because they felt insulted by somebody. It's just a fact of life that people go to war. And sometimes that's because they believe in God. Okay? That's problem number one. Even if it is true that most wars are fought because of religion, that doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. But second, it's not true. And this was something I learned. This is the book that I'm reading right now. It's called Tactics by a guy named Gregory. I'm guessing the name is Kokel. People and their weird names. But I was reading this section as I'm getting close to the end of the book. And he brought up this question about most wars being fought by religion. And it turns out it's not only not true, it's like way not true. There's this big collection of books, Encyclopedia of Wars. It's 3 massive volumes, and it details every war that we know of in history. And what they found when they were studying all of these wars is that only 7% of wars were fought because of religion. 7%. That means that 93% of wars were not fought because of religion. That is a big deal. That makes that question completely not important at all. How can you worship a God if most wars are fought over religion? But they weren't. Yes, they were. I mean, look around. No, they weren't. And even then, I'll give you some specific examples. Let's look at World War I. World War I was a horrible war that destroyed a huge portion of Europe. And the way that the end of World War I was handled is what started a lot of the problems in World War II. The bad guys weren't driven by religion. They were driven by power. These were secular societies, very worldly societies. World War II. A lot of people try to argue that Germany was fighting for religious reasons, that they were Christians. But even if that was true, what about Japan? What about Italy? Germany wasn't the only nation in World War II. You had two others there, and even then, Russia was part of the Axis powers. In the beginning, before Germany turned on them, they're all secular. They weren't driven by religious reasons. So right there, we've got the two biggest wars during our time, not driven by religion. And then, what about all the ones that come after it? China is a secular society. It's not driven by religion. And so many of our recent wars in America were fought because of China. You got Vietnam and Korea, not fought because of religion. Okay? They weren't fought because of religion. They were fought because of power. What about the ones that we're concerned about right now? China is still a very secular nation. There's an underground church, but the Chinese government is very secular. If we go to war with China, that's not driven by religious reasons. That's driven because China is being a butt. And what about with Taiwan? Because China is threatening to take over Taiwan. They've been threatening to do this for a long time. It has nothing to do with religion. All of these things, a lot of the things that people say is bad about religion or Christianity, period, it's usually based on one lie. And if you take down that one lie, the debate has to end. How can you believe in God if most wars are caused by religion? Well, if that's not true, then why does the question matter? 7%. So if you get challenged by that, tell them to go to the Encyclopedia of Wars and look at what percentage of wars are fought because of religion. And if you guys want a good book to read, there's some good ones to look at. There's one called Questioning Evangelism. That's a really good one that teaches you how to ask questions when you're talking to someone or you're being challenged. And if you read that one and you feel like you understand it pretty well, then you can probably move on to this one. I would not say this is the first book you should read because it's a little bit harder to understand, but I'm trying to take a picture. There we go. But if you can understand Questioning Evangelism, this is a good book to read too. This will help you to be able to answer the tough questions a lot easier and with a lot less heartache. Okay? I just wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'd be happy to deal with any other questions. If you get somebody that asks you a tough question or you hear a tough question on the internet, shoot it my way and I'll help you walk through it. Okay? Sound good? You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, Boynton Baptist Youth. All right, see you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.